Imagine whispers from forgotten ages, tales woven right into sacred texts, hinting at beings that just don't fit our neat boxes of good and evil. What if the stories we think we know, well, what if they guard secrets far stranger than just angels and demons fighting it out?
It's a compelling thought.
Today, we're really venturing into that veiled realm. This is a deep dive into a hidden layer of the Bible, where 12 specific, really enigmatic creatures dwell.
And their forms are bizarre, their purposes, while often unsettling.
Exactly. And the truths they might represent, they could challenge how we understand things.
Forget the usual stained glass images, The sources Job, Psalms, Isaiah, Ezekiel, Genesis, Revelation, Exodus, they paint a much stranger, more cryptic picture.
So this isn't about dogma, right? It's more about exploring these overlooked entities.
Precisely. We're unearthing the fascinating, sometimes unsettling realities they embody. Think of it as a glimpse, maybe behind the curtain of creation itself.
Okay, so where do we begin? Our journey starts with something huge, a being that almost feels like the ground itself. Let's unpack Behemoth from the book of Job.
Yes, Behemoth. It appears when God responds to Job's suffering, not as some monster, but as a masterpiece of divine creation.
The description. Limbs like iron rods.
Like iron rods, yeah. And a tail swaying like a massive cedar tree. It's presented as this vast creature, the first of God's works, almost anchoring the wild.
Guardian of the untamed. But there's a strange peacefulness described too, isn't there, despite its power?
That's the paradox. Lying under lotus trees undisturbed by floods. It has this immense strength, but it exists, seemingly to inspire awe, not terror, to humble humanity.
So the text even suggests warriors wouldn't dare provoke it.
Right. Which makes you question our own ideas about power. Is it always about dominance? Or can it be this quiet, inherent force?
And the debate continues, right? Was it a hippo? Some kind of dinosaur echo?
Yeah.
Or maybe more symbolic?
The ambiguity is part of its power, I think. It invites us to consider divine restraint, this cosmic balance. It's a reminder that creation is bigger and wilder than we often imagine.
A world both known and profoundly unknown. Okay, from solid earth, let's dive deep. Into the abyss, where chaos stirs in the form of another creature.
Ah, yes, Leviathan, the coiled serpent of the deep. Where Behemoth is grounded, Leviathan is, well, raw, untamed primordial force, also forged by God, importantly.
Job 41 gives this terrifying picture. Fiery breath.
Fiery breath, yes. Sparks flying, impenetrable scales like shields locked together, and its eyes shining like the dawn. It's meant to be unsettling.
It sounds truly formidable. Its purpose, then?
It seems to be a declaration of God's supremacy, even over the most chaotic parts of existence, a reminder of human limits. The untamable lurking just beneath the surface.
People often mistake it for Satan, don't they? Just pure evil.
They do, but the text suggests something maybe more complex. It's fearsome, absolutely, but maybe not inherently malevolent in that same way.
More like a force of nature?
Perhaps. A weapon, a warning, even a wonder. Psalm 104 actually shows it playing in the sea.
Playing. That's unexpected.
It is. But then Isaiah predicts its ultimate defeat. So there's this duality of a creature of chaos, part of creation, yet destined for subjugation. It reflects both the world's wildness and God's ultimate control.
Okay, leaving the depths now.
Yeah.
Let's ascend right to the heart of the divine presence itself, to beings of pure fire.
We're talking about the Seraphim. Their name literally means the burning ones. Picture them high above God's throne, radiating this intense, unquenchable holiness and worship.
Isaiah's vision. It's incredible. 6 wings.
6 wings. 2 covering their faces in reverence, 2 covering their feet in humility, and 2 for flight, constantly circling the throne.
And constantly singing, holy, holy, holy.
Their voice is echoing. It suggests a majesty almost impossible for us to grasp.
And they do more than just worship, right?
Yeah.
There's that moment with Isaiah.
Yes, the purification. When Isaiah feels unworthy, the seraph touches his lips with a burning coal from the altar.
Ouch. But it cleanses him.
It cleanses him. It shows they're agents of purification, bridging that gap between human frailty and divine holiness. What does it mean to be purified by fire like that?
They seem so different from angels, the messengers, or even the cherubim we'll get to.
They operate on a different level. Angels are often sent out, cherubim guard. But seraphim remain in that immediate fiery presence. Their very nature speaks to the transformative, refining power of worship.
Okay, speaking of guardians, let's talk cherubim.
Yeah.
And we need to ditch the image of, well, chubby babies with wings.
Definitely ditch that image. The texts describe beings of fearsome majesty, their main job. Guarding the sacred, protecting the divine presence.
We meet them right at the beginning, don't we? After Adam and Eve leave Eden.
Exactly. Stationed at the entrance to the Garden of Eden with a flaming sword that turns every way, it's a powerful image.
Almost like a keep-out sign from God.
Or maybe an act of mercy. Think about it. If humans went back in their fallen state, what might have happened? Maybe the cherubim were preventing something worse. A necessary boundary.
That's an interesting perspective. That Ezekiel gives these wild descriptions.
Oh, completely otherworldly. 4 faces, man, lion, ox, eagle, wings covered in eyes, moving with those strange wheels, the Ophanim.
The 4 faces representing all creation, maybe? Wisdom, courage, strength, vision.
That's a common interpretation. And the eyes everywhere suggest total awareness. They're bearers of God's throne, moving in perfect sync with the divine will.
And they weren't just in visions, they were part of the temple design too.
Yes, golden cherubim were crafted to overshadow the Ark of the Covenant in the tabernacle and temple. Their wings formed the mercy seat.
The very place where God's presence met humanity.
Precisely. So they symbolize that boundary, but also the specific place where mercy could be found, guardians of glory, and the threshold of compassion.
Right. Now, shifting gears quite dramatically, let's look at beings that blur the lines between heaven and earth in a much more troubling way.
Now we enter a darker, more mysterious chapter, the Nephilim. Genesis 6 introduces them, this race born from a forbidden union, sons of God and daughters of men.
And who exactly were the sons of God? Still debated, isn't it? Fallen angels, corrupted kings, something else.
The ambiguity is thick, yeah. But whoever they were, the result, the Nephilim, are described as giants, men of renown, but also possessing unnatural might, prone to violence, pride.
They seem to have really messed things up.
Their existence disrupted the order. The narrative links their corruption and violence directly to the reason for the Great Flood.
So this mingling led to a world so chaotic, it needed a reset.
That's the implication. Some traditions even say their spirits became demons after the flood or inspired later myths about giants. They stand as this stark warning about crossing forbidden boundaries, misusing power.
A cautionary tale from the dawn of time. Okay, from fallen giants to creatures crawling up from the abyss itself, carrying judgment.
Now we're deep in the symbolism of Revelation. The 5th trumpet sounds, the abyss opens, and out swarm locusts. But not ordinary locusts.
No, the description is nightmarish. Human faces, women's hair, lions' teeth.
Iron breastplates, wings like chariots, scorpion tails for stinging. It's a terrifying mashup.
And their mission is specific, isn't it? Not to kill, but
to torment. To inflict 5 months of agony on those who don't have God's seal. It's presented as a targeted divine judgment.
They're even told not to harm plants, just specific people.
Exactly. And they have a king, Abaddon, or Apollyon, the destroyer, ruler of ruin.
Wow. Whether you take it literally or symbolically as spiritual anguish, perhaps.
Their origin from the abyss, opened only by God's key, marks them as instruments of reckoning. It shows that judgment, when it comes, can be intensely specific and deeply disturbing.
Okay, let's shift again. From the abyss back to the heavens, but to something equally strange. Ezekiel's wheels, the Ophanim.
The Ophanim. Wheels within wheels, covered in eyes, glowing like amber, moving in any direction without turning. It's one of the most baffling visions in Scripture.
Almost like divine machinery.
In a sense, they seem to be the very carriers of God's throne, not flesh and blood, but pure motion and perception.
All those eyes, symbolizing God's awareness, seeing everything.
Omniscience, yes. And their constant, synchronized movement suggests perfect obedience, heavenly order. They move with the Spirit. It's like seeing the hidden gears of the cosmos, the mechanics of the divine chariot.
It really pushes the boundaries of what we can imagine heavenly beings to be. And they weren't alone up there, were they? Moving with them were
the 4 living creatures, also surrounding the throne, distinct from angels or humans, beings of just impossible majesty.
Each with those 4 faces again, man, lion, ox, eagle, representing all creation.
Right. And like the Ophanim and cherubim in Ezekiel's vision, they're covered in eyes, always watchful, wings perpetually ready.
And they're constantly praising God too, like the seraphim.
Continuously. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. But their praise isn't just sound, it's described as an active power stirring the heavens. They move in perfect harmony with the Ophanim, symbolizing creation unified in worship.
Living archetypes of strength, wisdom, loyalty, spiritual vision.
Exactly, showing that every part of creation has a place in that celestial worship.
Okay, now, amidst all this awe and mystery, there's also a figure of pure opposition, a cosmic enemy.
Prepare yourself. Revelation unveils the dragon, a great fiery red dragon.
Its description is intense. 7 heads, 10 horns, 7 crowns. Pure symbolic weight.
And it's explicitly identified. This is the ancient serpent, Satan, the deceiver of the whole world, a primal adversary made manifest.
And its actions are just as cosmic in scale, sweeping stars from the sky.
Representing fallen angels, yes, and trying to devour the child born to the woman, often interpreted as Jesus. It embodies rebellion against the divine plan.
Then there's the war in heaven. Michael cast the dragon down.
A pivotal moment, but being cast down to earth doesn't end its campaign. It turns its fury against the woman and her offspring believers.
So the battle continues, just on a different plane.
Precisely. The dragon represents domination, deception, destruction. Those heads and crowns symbolize worldly power, false authority. But the narrative is clear. Its doom is sealed. It's a powerful but ultimately defeated foe.
That image of cosmic battle is stark. And following that, more figures emerge, signaling, well, the end times.
The 4 horsemen, revealed as the first 4 seals, are opened in Revelation chapter 6, each rider bringing a specific form of judgment.
The white horse first, often seen as conquest, maybe even deceptive conquest, mimicking righteousness with its bow and crown.
Then the red horse, bringing war and bloodshed, taking peace from the earth.
Followed by the black horse, carrying scales, symbolizing famine, scarcity.
And finally, the pale horse. Its rider is death, and Hades follows close behind, signifying widespread pestilence and mortality. It's a grim procession.
These aren't just random disasters, though, in the context of Revelation.
No, they're portrayed as divine instruments, the consequences of humanity turning away from God. Their arrival signals the start of judgment, the end of illusions. But even here, there's a hint of hope, the promise of the true king who will follow.
Right. Now let's consider an entity that's less about a dramatic appearance and more about silent, inescapable presence.
The angel of death. Interestingly, often nameless and faceless in the main biblical texts, defined purely by its function, its presence.
It moves unseen, but its effect is absolute. We see it in Egypt during Passover.
Striking the firstborn, yes, and later bringing plague to Jerusalem in David's time, or decimating the Assyrian army threatening Judah. Swift, silent, unstoppable.
And acting only on God's command. It's like justice in motion.
Exactly. Absolute obedience. It can be seen as wrath for the wicked, maybe even a form of mercy or transition for the faithful. Later traditions gave it names like Azrael, but the Bible mostly presents it as this threshold, opened only by divine decree. It's a sobering reminder of mortality.
Very sobering. Okay, finally we reach the fringes. Creatures said to haunt desolate places.
These are the Sadas, or Seraphim, found in prophecies like Isaiah, describing ruined cities, Edom, Babylon, often depicted as goat-like figures, maybe half man, half goat.
So not really angels, not quite demons, more like spirits of desolation.
That seems to be the idea. They emerge where God's presence or favor has withdrawn. The Hebrew word ser can mean hairy one, but it's also linked to goat demon, or idols worshipped in desolate places.
So are they literal creatures or symbols of the idolatry that led to the ruin?
It could be both. Their appearance in these once thriving, now empty cities serves as this haunting echo of spiritual decay. Their cries aren't triumphant, they're warnings. They signify God's absence, the consequence of rejecting holiness.
A chilling final image. When the sacred is abandoned, only these echoes remain. So 12 incredibly diverse, often bizarre, and deeply mysterious beings. From the colossal behemoth to the haunting Sadas. They really stretch our understanding of the sacred, don't they?
They absolutely do. What do these forgotten creatures, these outliers, really tell us about power, chaos, worship, judgment? How do these ancient, sometimes terrifying descriptions challenge our perhaps more sanitized modern views of the spiritual?
It really feels like an invitation, doesn't it? To go back to these texts, maybe read them with fresh eyes, embrace the mystery.
Definitely. Perhaps hidden within these strange beings are profound truths about the cosmos, about the divine, and maybe about our own small, precarious place within it all. Food for thought.